indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I skipped ahead. All right, Kathleen, roll call, please.
Mopin, Rinker,
Yes. Here.
Billups,
Here.
Kreitzer, Graham Murray.
Here.
All right. Okay, first up is the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda having been discussed or considered to be routine by City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. On the consent is finances and miscellaneous, minutes of previous meetings, payrolls and city claims, beer, liquor, wine, and cigarette permits, reports and bonds. We have 5 resolutions. First one is resolution approving nuisance and demolition abatements for various properties. Number 2 is resolution approving amendments to the terms of the Otter Island Agreement, lease agreement. Number 3 is resolution approving the lease of 2 Toro Greensmaster 3150 green mowers by Flint Hills Golf Course for 4 years. And number 4 is resolution approving a professional services agreement with HR Green, Inc. of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, for general consulting services for the Burlington, Iowa wastewater treatment facility for a period of July 1st, 2020 till June 30th, 2021. And resolution number 5, approving the purchase of 2 trailer-mounted 6-inch trash pumps. Also set date for public hearings, July 20th, 2020. Consideration of plans and specifications for the 2020 flood mitigation Phase 6 project. Number 2 is consideration of sale properly locally known as 232 South 6th Street of City of Burlington, Iowa with conditions. And number 3 is a consideration of permanent encroachment agreement with McConnell Lofts LLC for encroachment in the North 4th Street right-of-way adjacent to 2006-2008 North 4th Street, Burlington, Iowa, and one appointment to the Low Rent Housing Board, Mike Mertens. Is there anyone in the audience that has a concern or thought about any of these consent items and would like them removed? Council?
Nope.
Hearing none, can I get a motion?
Your Honor, I have a motion to approve all listed under item 1 consent agenda.
Second.
Kathleen, when you're ready.
Second.
Thank you, Linda.
Rinker,
Yes.
Billups,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
Aye.
All right, that motion carried. Consent agenda has been approved. First up is a hearing. You want to unmute the other gentleman? Do we have any other additional callers? Okay, let's unmute them and find out who they are. Hi, you've called into the city council meeting. Can you identify yourself, please?
Josh Caffrey.
Josh, are you what is the issue you're calling about today?
The house at
Okay.
114 Harrison,
Okay, and what is your address, sir?
2305 Sunnyside.
Okay, did you get that, Kathleen?
What was the last name?
Give me your last name again, please, Josh.
Caffrey, C-A-F-F-R-E-Y.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, hold tight. We're gonna do that here in just a few minutes, okay? Is that it? That's all we got? Okay, so, this is consideration of sale of property locally known as 114 Harrison Avenue, City of Burlington, Iowa, with conditions. Eric?
This is a property we acquired directly from the owner. They had it, I guess, transferred to them and not able to dispose of it, and didn't want it just to sit vacant for to dilapidate further. So it was deeded to the city about a month ago. It is a home that needs quite a bit of work. So it's very similar to a lot of the homes we acquire through the 657A process. It's a one-story home built around 1900, 1,828 square feet with 2 bedrooms and 1 full bathroom and a 1-car detached garage and partial basement. It does need quite a bit of repairs, siding, plumbing, electrical upgrades, drywall patch repair of walls and ceilings, floors, kitchen and bath repairs, framing of walls and ceiling, window replacement and roof repairs. All the conditions similar to our sales for other properties, especially for those new to this. Home has to be rehabbed to housing occupancy standards as required. If rehabbed, defective items need to be repaired. Licensed plumber and electrician shall inspect and sign off that such items in the property meet or are brought up to city codes. Off-street parking shall accommodate 2 vehicles. Sidewalks and parking areas shall be improved as necessary. All permits shall be received and codes met as applicable for work and occupancy of the home. Purchaser shall maintain the property and yard and hold insurance on the property upon approval of sale by the city council. Anyone that buys a property cannot move in until it does meet those minimum housing occupancy standards. It's not something where you can buy it, move in and fix it up as you go. It has to be fixed up prior to any occupancy. Work is to start within 60 days, shall become substantially be completed within 180 days of approval, and an extension of another 180 days may be granted if progress continues to be made. Property shall be transferred by quitclaim deed upon substantial completion of the renovation work, so they do not receive deed until it is substantially renovated. Currently, we have 2 bids on the property. Christopher Woodsmall of 407 South 8th at $500 and Tim Johnson of 111 Polk at $550.
And we don't have any more callers. Okay, so if you're calling about this property, the way this is gonna go, when you make a bid, you need to give us your name and your bid amount. Right now, we have an opening bid by Tim Johnson for $550. Is there a person that would like to bid more than that on this home?
Yeah, $600.
Okay, the bid is, right now it's $550, so it'd have to be more than $550, and we'll go one at a time. Everybody get a chance to bid. Go ahead, make your bid. Say your name first, please.
Josh Caffrey, 600.
Okay? Mr. Cafferty is at 600. Is there anybody else that would like to bid?
Cabarrus Bryant, 800.
Okay, Mr. Bryant at 800. Would anybody like to bid more than 800 for this home?
Josh Caffrey, 900.
Okay, Mr. Cafferty is at 900. Does anybody want to go 1,000?
Cabarrus Bryant, 1,000.
Okay, we have Mr. Bryant at 1,000. Does anybody else like to bid on this house? 1,100.
Josh Caffrey, 1,100.
Okay, Mr. Cafferty is at 1,100. Anyone else?
Cabarrus Bryant,
Yep,
Cabarrus Bryant, 1,300.
Mr. Bryant's at 1,300. Okay. Anybody else would like to bid on this house, or would anybody like to bid at 1,400 or more?
Josh Caffrey, 1,400.
Okay. Mr. Cafferty's at 1,400. Next bidder?
Cabarrus Bryant,
Yep.
Cabarrus Bryant, 1,600.
Okay, Mr. Bryant's at 1,600. Is there anybody who would like to bid more than 1,600 for this home?
Josh Caffrey, 1,700.
Mr. Cafferty's at 1,700. Next bidder?
Cabarrus Bryant, 2,500.
Mr. Bryant's at 2,500. Would anybody like to bid more on this home than 2,500? Anybody like to go more than 2,500 on this home? Going once. 2,500, going twice. 2,500, sold. Mr. Bryant, will you contact Eric Tislin in the Development Department
Eric, do you want his address?
again?
Yeah, address, if you had a phone number or
Yeah.
something too.
Give me your, Mr. Bryant, can you give me your phone number, please?
319-431-0874.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, we'll have you reach out to America, that'd be all right.
Yep.
We'll have Eric reach out to you about that, and thank you for all the bidders, everybody interested in this house. Okay, so I'd like to close the hearing. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Your Honor, I have a motion to close.
Second. Kathleen, can we vote when you're ready?
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Graham Murray.
All right.
Your Honor, I have a resolution approving the sale of a property locally known as 114 Harrison Avenue, City of Burlington, Iowa, with conditions.
Need a second?
Second.
All right, Kathleen, when you're ready.
I need a
Oh.
motion to amend.
Need a motion to amend, Matt?
Sorry, I apologize. I know you gave it to me.
So, got it.
So the first one?
To amend Exhibit C.
This right here. With the price.
Your Honor, I have a motion to amend Exhibit C of the resolution approving the sale of property locally known as 114 Harrison Avenue, City of Burlington, Iowa, Des Moines County, Iowa, that the property be sold to Maris Bryant
At $2,500.
at $2,500.
Second.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
All right. Motion.
And then the resolution.
Now we got to vote on the original
Yep.
resolution as
Your
amended.
Honor, I have a resolution approving the sale of property locally known as 114 Harrison Avenue, City of Burlington, Iowa, with conditions.
Okay, we already did it, but
Oh, we did?
we're just gonna vote.
Oh, we're just voting. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
Yes, please.
Okay. Motion carried. Thanks. We got through it. Number 2, is there anybody on the phone then besides Linda after that? Okay. Next one is consideration of ordinance amending section 7304 special speed restrictions of the chapter 73 speed regulations of the Burlington Municipal Code. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good evening. So the ordinance change in front of you involves 2 separate locations where we specify speed limits less than, I think, 25 miles an hour. The first area, the simplest one, I guess I'd just get out of the way, is the addition of 2 new roadway sections with the installation near the Recplex of Hinkle Drive and kind of the extension of Broadway. We would change that or add that to the code, so that's the reason why that's in there. The first area that was kind of the request that spurred the conversation is in the Stone Garden complex. Do you have that image yet, Eric? And so the roadways that this would include is inside of that. The traffic flow of that area has changed significantly when the city allowed a control gate on the south side of the complex, just to the north of Flint Hills on Valley Street. So there's no through traffic that comes through that facility. The want was some stop signs, and that doesn't really the effective use to try and slow traffic down. So to post lessen speed limit signs was kind of the thought process. So that is the 2 changes to that ordinance, and I can speak about that if you have any questions.
Okay. Does any council, there's no one online, so council, do you have any questions for Nick on this? All right. Seeing no questions, can I get a motion to close?
Your Honor, I have a motion to close.
Second.
When you're ready, Kathleen?
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
Aye.
Your Honor, I have a motion for preliminary adoption of the first reading of an ordinance amending section 73.04 special speed restrictions of chapter 73 speed regulations of the Burlington Municipal Code.
Second.
Second.
When you're ready, Kathleen.
Rinker,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
All right. It passed. Next up is an ordinance, motion for a preliminary adoption of the second reading of an ordinance amending ordinances related to the designating of an area of Burlington, Iowa as the Burlington Urban Revitalization Area.
Are you introducing that?
Oh, yeah, I guess
Sounds
I
like
did.
it.
I'm sorry, Matt.
Guess I need a second.
My fault.
Second.
No changes from the previous reading. This just brings in this area between Columbia and Washington, 4th and 8th Street, into the urban revitalization area that qualifies for the downtown tax abatement program for upper story residential. Specifically, there's been projects looked at on 4th Street. If those move forward, that would benefit and hopefully assist in moving projects forward in that area. But all the area between Columbia, Washington, 4th and 8th would be brought in to, I guess, even out that area.
Okay. Is there anybody online? Okay, Jessica, thanks. Council, do you have any questions on this one? Let's have a vote. Kathleen, please.
Rinker,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
Okay, resolutions, Matt.
Your Honor, I have a resolution approving the voluntary severance of territory in Lot 1 of Oak Arbor Farm subdivision.
I need a second.
Eric?
This lot was recently approved by the city and county. It's a lot that's partially in the city, currently the portion in gray here, and then partly in the county, the portion in white. The city-county boundary is this north-south line that runs through the lot. The owner, Oak Arbor Farm, is desiring to sell the home. Currently does not have any city services, no sewer, water, trash. Home is located in the county, so a portion of the lot and structures are in the county and city, and they wish to sever this so that the entire portion of the lot is in the county.
Okay. Council, any questions? Can we have a vote, Kathleen?
Rinker,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
All right.
Your Honor, I have a resolution awarding contract for the 2020 Seal Coat Streets project.
The resolution in front of you would award contract to W. Miller Paving Company in the amount of $427,646.04. We had two bidders on the project. The engineer's estimate was $480,000, so we saved. We're a little less than or quite a bit less than what the engineer's estimate includes. So as you remember, the presentation on the plans and specs, this includes sections of 8th, 10th, 14th, 15th, 16th streets, and then Acres, Harrison, kind of the east edge, east of River Street, Hedge Street, and then Jackson Street. And then we will also do ADA ramps along with this. We use road use tax to fund this project for our annual seal coat program. I see no reason not to recommend awarding.
Okay. And there's still no one online, correct, Jessica? Thank you. Council, do you have any questions? Kathleen, when you're ready.
Rinker,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
All right.
Your Honor, I have a resolution approving the purchase of 2 city light-duty buses for the Burlington Urban Service.
Second.
In front of you, the resolution would award contract to Thomas Bus to purchase 2 light-duty buses. We have 2 separate FTA grants that replace at 80 and 85% match to purchase the buses. We selected Thomas Bus Sales. The DOT goes out and does procurement amongst the bus producers, and so they give essentially a listing price that you're able to go in and add the necessary things a la carte with prices behind them. So the buses that we're purchasing are ADA compliant and meet the FTA standards that you need to meet. After the conversation from the work session, I did amend the memo that was in the packet It included the conversation about the addition of bike racks. The resolution in the packet in front of you does not have that change in there, and so if you would like to make that change, you'd have to amend the resolution. So the bike racks that fit this chassis are actually a little bit higher than what I had a conversation about last week. They're $2,500 an increase. I showed you the memo below shows the breakdown of what the cost is for our match. It does not significantly increase our cost by any means. It's relatively minimal because of the 85% match on that, and the FTA grant would cover those functions. I did go measure for future conversations about the addition of bike racks on medium-duty buses. They do fit in our bus barn, but it is tight. So if you have not been out to the facility, we have 7 garage doors where we park the 14 buses kind of in a line, and your access is kind of along that line. We could reorganize and put the medium duties further away so you can walk by the light duties without having the cramped space. But as you get medium duties in there, especially with some of the other storage we have, it is awfully tight to fit down. But I wouldn't say that that would be a sole detraction on not installing the bike racks. I thought a little bit further about the conversation that we had last week and thought about the reason why we don't have a lot of bikers or people bike to buses and then use the facilities and then move forward from that. And I think a lot of that comes down to our riders being able to get picked up on the corner where they call. So we have a lot of demand response function at our facilities. So if I call up and want to be picked up on 10th and Pine, they'll come to the corner and pick me up and take me to my location. I say that with a little, for the most part. So I think where, a lot of the other larger agencies, even in the state of Iowa, they run more traditional routes that run a loop. Mm-hmm. And if you were to have you'd be 5-6 blocks away from your ended location. I could see where, riding your bike would be much easier. So I think that's the reason why we haven't really encountered a lot of people that ride the bikes and want to get on the buses. But it's just something I wanted to add in there as part of the conversation. But, whatever you think we should do, I can answer any questions about that.
Council?
My opinion is as it was last week, which is to, moving forward, add the bike racks. I don't like the idea of going back and adding it at an increased expense to our existing fleet, but it sounds like we're gonna replace a significant portion of that fleet over the next 5 years. So, I would be in favor of doing it moving forward.
Okay, Linda?
I'm for making our town as walkable as bikeable as we can, so I'm in. I think we should go ahead and fit the new buses with the bike racks.
Well, I'm not gonna disagree, so we need to amend this then?
Yeah, you just need to amend the total.
Okay.
What's
No,
that?
there
It would
isn't.
just be the dollar figure. So if
Okay.
you would just wanted to change the total purchase price from the 178.53 that I have in the resolution
Okay.
to the 183.544, that's
Okay.
all that needs to be changed.
Okay. Well, you need us to state that?
If one of you could.
Sure. Your Honor, I have a resolution approving the purchase as amended of 2 city light-duty buses for the Burlington, Iowa Urban Service for $183,544. Does that work, Kathleen?
Sure.
Okay.
Second?
And a second, Kathleen, when you're ready?
Okay. Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Graham Murray.
Oh, yes.
All right, number 4, Mr. Rinker.
Okay, that was just the
Oh,
amendment, so
sorry,
now we're
that's the
gonna
amendment,
vote
sorry.
on the resolution as amended.
Your Honor, I have a
Ri-
resolution approving.
I
She
have
doesn't
it.
need it.
We
She's
just,
got it.
Sorry.
yeah,
Okay.
you're okay. Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Graham Murray.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Kathleen, for
Yep.
keeping us straight. Number 4, Mr. Rinker.
Your Honor, I have a resolution approving a grant agreement with the Urban State Traffic Engineering Program for the Roosevelt Avenue project.
Need a second.
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 The resolution in front of you is an addition from the work session. It is good to hear. We had applied and received the ICAP, or the Iowa Clean Air Act Attainment Program monies, which is $760,000 out of the $1.2 million project to do the coordination and signal light improvements up and down the Roosevelt corridor. I actually in December had written to Jim Armstrong, the district engineer. The way you get these funds is simply by letter and requesting them, and requested the amount that we were able to be requested to meet the match requirements. And they, after the meeting that we had talking about the advanced warning lights on the south side of the corridor, tied in with the change of the signals, they sent this letter off awarding us the full amount. And so the local match that this drops our need down is to $212,163, which was actually at $460,000. So
Outstanding.
I would recommend accepting. All it does is bring down our cost. There's a little bit more administration to jump through as far as drawing the grant monies, but beyond that, there's really no other reason that I would recommend not awarding or accepting the monies.
Can you hit on the warning lights? Just explain that real quick.
So post the accident at Mason Road and having seen the petition requests that I saw, I wanted to get ahead of that. And it is an intersection that we have noticed that people are coming at high rates of speed from the south, and also people are making left-hand turns, and I don't think anticipating that. So you see them coming into the side of Des Moines, going up to Muscatine, the yellow flashing lights that are indicated when that light will turn red. And so they judge the speed based on the speed limit and know that as of right now, you might as well slow down because you're not going to make the light. So it's an advanced warning system that's tied to the corridor, or to at least to Mason Road anyway. And so the DOT is willing to do that. They haven't said that they need us to pay for it out of these funds. We will run fiber to Mason Road, or we have fiber there, so there was no reason why it couldn't be a part of this project. So they may actually end up giving us more money to just deal with it. With this
yeah.
project, so. But that was kind of the last conversation we had with them, and then immediately after that, they sent us this letter, so.
Good. Matt, do you have something else?
Well, when I read into this, it just highlights the area of Mount Pleasant and Sunnyside. I didn't see that in
I quickly stole a previous memo that I had written about the ICAP funding, and I didn't go much into the background on that. But a lot of the fiber run is between Mount Pleasant and Sunnyside because there's those big gaps, and those are really kind of the.
So we're gonna add signalization south of Mason for that intersection.
I don't know the way the
Hazards.
DOT wants to handle that, but that was I should have
Yeah.
clarified that.
Okay.
The conversation was about that, and that's kind of what spurred
So
me knowing this use
my last
step.
question is, are we gonna mirror that then on the north side as well?
I had that conversation with the DOT as well, and they don't know that it's necessary yet. However, there's not 4-lane travel coming that direction at 65 mile an hour. So I think it would be wise to do that. So we'll see what happens with the design.
It was about to be, though.
It will be, yeah.
Yeah, it will be.
No, I agree with you that
Yeah.
it would make sense.
It does help that comes uphill, so people start coasting a little bit and brings their speed down. But let's ask. I mean, good work
Yeah.
on this, and so let's ask and see if we can't get it on both ends, and it would
Yep.
be a good improvement.
And if not,
for
we'll
our
see
town.
what happens when we do the RFP process
Okay.
and figure out costs. We
Okay.
may be able to just fund it with this
Yeah, because
project.
we saved some money there, so good job,
Yep.
sir.
That'll work?
Any other questions? Linda, can we get or Kathleen, can we get a vote?
Rinker,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
Aye.
All right. Matt, number 5, please.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing a contract between the City of Burlington and the Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Commission for technical services for the Housing Sustainability Grant through IEDA CDBG program.
We need a second.
Second.
This was added after the work session as well. We previously approved an application for CDBG funds for owner-occupied rehab and previously advertised with the request for proposals for technical services for this grant. As part of the grant, the IEDA wants to see council actually approve the technical services pending awarding of grant. So if we don't get the grant, we won't move forward with this, but if we do, then Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Commission was the sole submittal for technical services. They're generally are the ones that do this kind of work for the cities. So this resolution just approves a contract for technical services with Regional Planning Commission should the grant be awarded by IEDA to the city.
Okay, council, have any questions? Jessica, there's still nobody on the line, right? Okay, can we have a vote, please?
Rinker,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
Aye.
Matt, number 6.
Your Honor, I have a resolution acknowledging emergency nature of storm sewer repair work at the end of Harrison Avenue.
Need a second.
Second. Okay,
Sorry.
it's all right.
I hate to come to you with these types of resolutions and requests, but after the rain incident last Monday, we had another issue crop up that needs some pretty quick turnaround time to get fixed. So Harrison Street, if you don't know, the storm sewer and sanitary sewer actually both go off over the bluff. The sanitary sewer hooks into the Mississippi Interceptor, and the storm sewer in the past had gone through a small storm sewer, and on heavy rain events, it actually caused us some combination or some SSO issues because it got in with the sanitary, and then it just bailed over the top of the bluff. We recently, in the last year, have added a structure. If you could show that bottom picture, I think it shows it. Oh, nope, I'm at the structure. We added a structure and rerouted the storm sewer and required an easement to lay some riprap and bring the water down a different direction so as not to get into the sanitary. It also handles a larger volume. What we have had happen because of the rain event, there was an old bricks wallway, so it was kind of several plunge pools that dropped down, and one of the brick walls that was created the old plunge pool gave way, and it brought down a ton of material, a lot of the riprap that we have. If you go to that bottom picture, we'll show you if you want to go down. So all the rock that's at that second plunge pool below used to be up top, and the only reason why what's standing there is because we mixed concrete and threw riprap on top of it.
Are we looking up or down?
We're looking
down.
We're looking down.
Okay.
And so that picture sits 20 foot below the Harrison Street grade, and by the time you get down to the railroad tracks, it's probably another 45 or so feet. There was actually quite a bit of debris, rock, and then a big hunk of rock from the actual shelf. It drops off before it gets into a natural slide. Actually ended up right near the railroad tracks, and then the big box culvert there is also full, or was full of rock the last time I saw it. And so we need to add some sort of a wall structure. We met with Klingner and Veenstra and Kim and talked about how to remedy this situation. Veenstra and Kim did the original design on it, so we were grateful for Klingner to meet with us and go over this project. But ultimately what we're going to look at doing is there's bedrock relatively close on both sides. The way the ravine works is there's a bunch of sediment in the middle, and so we would have to try and get some area clean and put some pins into the bedrock and create kind of a small wall with some weeps in it to be able to hold some of the mass of rock and other debris that's up above it. The difficulty, the amount of concrete that will go into this type of work will probably only be $25,000 to $30,000. I think in my memo, I didn't write a memo for this, did I? In my email to Jim and Stephanie to talk about how to do this, it probably is in the $80,000 to $100,000 bracket because of the difficulty to get there. To bring the structure in that sits 10, 15, even 20 foot higher, they had to use a long stem excavator to drop it in, and it was precarious there. So what this involves is a lot of handwork, a lot of pneumatic type drilling, pinning it into the bedrock, and then pumping down concrete. And then potentially bringing in some more riprap through some sort of a long stem excavator with a clam bucket on it or a belt. So we need to get this moving, otherwise we potentially will lose our structure that we just placed.
Yeah.
So it is not only that, but then we could have some significant issues below with BNSF as well.
Sure.
If we don't get moving.
Does, so the stormwater and the sanitary sewer are combined
No.
at the interceptor? Or they're not?
They are not.
Okay.
No.
So we already have a line that carries stormwater down the cliff, right?
We do. It's only 12 inches.
That's the problem,
So the new,
right?
so what we did is we took the blue line, which is the storm, and at that manhole, we set a structure that turned it and then put in a 30-inch line. And actually, the gentleman that lives down there took a pretty impressive video. There's some dissipators that are on a splash pad, because as it comes screaming down the hill from Main Street, it drops a significant way. It actually has hit those dissipators and shot up to ground height of where you're standing on Harrison. It is doing what it's supposed to do, but it shows you the sheer volume and the speed that water is coming down at. And before, it did cause erosion issues as it spilled over top, but it also caused SSO problems, which is a DNR issue. But now the waters are separated. There used to actually be a line in between the two as well. So that area was separated with the work that we did in Cascade over the last 10 years.
So do we just take that stormwater and dump it right into the Mississippi at the bottom of the bluff then?
The only other option that Jesse and I have talked about to try and slow we need to fix our erosion issue, but another project that we may do is add some retention, but that means we haven't talked to these people yet. We have an easement with them for some of the work that we just did, but there's kind of a ravine area just to the south of Harrison Street that property owner has that would probably do well to be kind of a retention pond. You could divert some of the storm sewer into it, but I wouldn't want to speculate too much without knowing if that person's, willing to try and participate. So right now, we just need to get things so they don't erode any further.
All right.
And so that's the need for the emergency, and you can see, I think Jesse, or Mr. Foley supplied an emergency letter certifying, so that's what we need. The resolution also authorizes some engineering in there. It won't be to that degree amount. I know that because they just did some of the work around that there is some need to follow up on that, and they also have all the information, survey data and, other flow types, things that they need. So I'll probably have them move upon approval of this.
Any further questions, council? No? Kathleen, can we vote, please?
Rinker,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
Aye.
All right. Now we've reached the end of our meeting. If there's no one from the audience, and no comments from the audience. Staff, Eric, do you have anything else? Don? Chief?
Yes.
Welcome, Chief Kramer.
I hope that all of you would be here, but we have three, so I just wanted to make it known, and I know that you folks have known and have communicated, and I talked to you, Mayor, briefly about, I turned 55 next month in August, and I plan to retire October 1st of this year, leaving my office vacant, and it'll give you the opportunity, 90 days, to have a replacement, hopefully in place before I leave that position, and retire.
Forgive me if I'm not excited about it. I wasn't looking for your replacement anytime soon, my friend.
Well, I am looking forward to it, and I
I know
need
you
to take some opportunities to spend some time with my family that has been missed over the years, so.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, you've earned it, sir.
Thank you. I just wanted to make it known, and if anyone has any questions, they're welcome to give me a holler.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief. Nick? Or Jim? Or Nick? Or Jim? Jim? Nick?
They both are wearing blue shirts.
Yeah.
Not the same blue shirt, all right. I just wanted to let you know, I kind of said something last week, but they did fire up today on the Central Street project between Angular and South. So they've milled quite a bit today, and they'll continue to do that. So I know that there are some people in the area that probably have some disruption. We did send out letters and news feeds and tried to do what we can, but want to reiterate, if people have questions on that, feel free to call. We'll be, more than willing to help out and answer questions on what they can do. So there will be some access to people that have property or, property along there. And we discussed the issues with the daycare today. That project seems to be moving. The other one is the Recplex Road project. We're kind of waiting on Alliant to get some poles in there and not open it up just to shut it down again.
Okay.
And so we're waiting on that, and we've also talked with Mr. Hess and lining up Hinkle to do a ribbon cutting. And so we'll contact you guys about doing that when we're ready to go. I would say in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Once we get Alliant to get the poles in. So
All right.
other than that, that's all I got.
Sounds great.
Fantastic. Jessica? Chief Trexel? You don't want to talk, we're still hiring though, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Matt?
No?
Okay. Linda?
No, I'm just up at Iowa State for a basketball camp for my son, so go Cyclones.
There you go. Kathleen, do you have anything? No. All right. I just got a couple of things. One, I think you've seen it. We are looking for police and fire personnel. We'd love you to come to work for the city, so please check out the city's website for that. Also, there is a citywide yard sale. This is normally Linda's forte, these sale announcements. There's a citywide yard sale this weekend, so great time to go out and get yourself some bargains. I saw on one of the sites that's organizing it, it looked like over 115 people have signed up already. So it's going to be a big weekend. And the only other thing I would say is we had a couple fatalities on the river in the region this weekend. And, the river is no joke. Please treat it with respect. We don't want to lose anybody at any point in time. And the last thing is, hopefully, those of you that enjoyed your fireworks are done. Everybody in the town would, based off the phone calls and emails that I've received, are ready for things to go back to a little quieter. So, thank you for that. And can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to close.
Second? All right, Kathleen?
Rinker,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Graham Murray.
Yes, please.
All right, we are adjourned.